Thank you very much for joining us today. Now, the Electoral Commission is today conducting election of regional representatives to the Council of State. Now, the Commission earlier rescheduled the election of members from the 9th to the 16th of February to allow the MMDAs to properly constitute an electoral college. This has become necessary after the revocation of 30% political appointees at the various assemblies. According to the EC, elections will be held at venues to be determined by the Commission in the regional capitals. Let's check up on how the elections are going. We start off from the Greater Accra region. My colleague Joseph Akable joins me live now. Joseph, where exactly are you and what's happening there? Hello, Joseph. Your line is not so clear. If you...
Can you hear me?
It's not still clear. If you can reposition yourself, and then we can have
Hello, Beatrice, can you hear me?
Exactly. Go ahead. Joseph, I can hear you, so go ahead and tell us what's happening from there.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Exactly. It's excellent. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm actually at the Gan West Municipal Assembly where the election is supposed to take place here, and it is the election for 16 assemblies here. And I'll be joined shortly by Mr. Kofi Jakpasu. He's right here because the big news that we are picking up right when we arrived here is the fact that Mr. E.T. Mensah, he is one who was tipped as one of the key candidates in this particular election. This morning, he has withdrawn his nomination. He's the former Minister of State. He was also the MP for Ningo Pram Pram. And it's one person who, when he picked the form, I mean, lots of surprise, lots of eyebrows were raised about why he would want to contest for this one. So Mr. Jakpasu will be joining me quickly here. He's right here with me. He'll be joining me just to confirm that news to us. We just arrived, and the big news is that Mr. E.T. Mensah has withdrawn his nomination. Can you confirm that?
Yeah, we just received the letter. The letter was dated yesterday, but we just received it that he has withdrawn from the contest.
Now, what's the procedure normally like? Once an individual writes to the commission saying he is no longer interested in contesting, the commission has no choice than to accept. Is that the case?
Yes, once you write, we have no choice to accept. If you write before the printing of the ballot papers, your name will not, your pictures will not appear on the ballot paper. But now that we have already printed the ballot paper and the notice of poll, what it means is that his name, his pictures is still on the ballot paper. We will announce to the electorate and they will vote. Whoever votes for that candidate, that ballot becomes rejected.
But prior to the election, did you do balloting for the various candidates? Because if that is the case, it means it will affect the order of the candidates.
Yes, balloting has been done. Their positions are already on the ballot paper. Okay, so it doesn't change the ballot paper in any way because we are not printing the ballot paper anew. It has already been printed. His position is on the ballot paper. We announce to the electorate, whoever votes for him, it becomes a rejected ballot. So in terms of position, they're still maintaining their positions on the ballot paper.
Now, to the election itself that will be taking place, it's supposed to start now. What would the process be like?
Oh, I think I've just spoken with the regional director, who is also the returning officer. You know, the usual thing, we pray, then after that, we'll give some time to the candidates to, as it were, address the electoral college. Then after that, we proceed with the voting proper.
Earlier, when we spoke to you some time back, we understand it will just be similar to public election, but the indication we are getting this morning is that it's going to be just between 10 to 2 p.m. Is that the case?
Yeah, you see, what we are saying is that the laws of the country, as far as voting is concerned, in terms of timing, is from 7 in the morning to 5 p.m. Then within that period, we are making this operational arrangement, administrative arrangement, so that we'll vote start at 10 and maybe end at 2. But what it means, therefore, is that if after 2 there are some people who have not yet voted, they will still be given the opportunity till 5 p.m.
Okay, so that will be how it will be like. So right after 2 p.m., it means you need to declare the results.
Yeah, we need to count and declare. We need to count and declare.
Yeah, so Eric Kofi...
That's what is on the notice of poll. So after 2 o'clock, we must count and declare.
Okay, so he just said Eric Kofi Jakpasu there will be definitely be here with him throughout the day between 10 to 2 p.m. like he pointed out when the election will be taking place, so that as and when it turns will bring the results up. But then again, some of the candidates are present here and will be engaging 2 of them. Desmond Decker joins me here. If Mr. Green can just quickly join me on this side, he joins me here. And these are 2 of the youngest candidates in the race. Mr. Green, I understand, is 26 years old, and Desmond Desmond Decker. He's a journalist, 24 years old. Oh, so actually, Desmond is the youngest here, and he joins us here. For the two of you, but the very straight question is, for the Council of State, more often than not, the perception is that Council of State, it comes across as elderly persons who are supposed to be in it. What was the motivation behind contesting?
Well, thank you very much, my listeners. For me, I was interviewed this morning, and what I said to the public is that this is the time that the youth need to be put on the board to affect so many lives. My motivation is purposely to affect the youth and to impact positively in them. And what I'm saying is that when we take this bold step, it will be a precedent for others to follow. Not only the youth, but even the younger generations coming on board. And this is the history we want to set across Ghana, that the motivation factor is that Green is taking the step. Someone will come and water it, someone will come and prune it, someone would also come and harvest it. And we can see that we are making headway. That is the motivation.
I'll come to you for you to tell me how confident you are winning the post, but let me come to Desmond Decker. Is that the same motivation for you?
Yeah, it's the same motivation, my brother. The misconception and wrong notion that the youth out there, the young people out there, can't advise the president or can't advise people in office should be moved away. That thing should be erased. So it is motivating enough for us, to stand for this position, and it tells you that the youth in this country are bold enough. We want to take that bold step, and we want to make sure that the decision making and the policies that the various institutions make in our country go a long way. At the end of the day, we are the brain behind this economy. We are the energy behind this country. And so if some decisions are taken without our consent, without our input, then where are we heading? So it tells you that we are ready to take up that mantle. It's an inspiration to the youth out there to take a bold decision and take up some of these positions to develop the country.
The briefing is just starting, but at 2 p.m., what is your expectation? Do you hope to emerge victorious?
The hope is that we are going to win this election, and I'm telling you that I'm winning, and at 2 o'clock, Desmond Decker will be declared the winner of this election.
So that is 24-year-old Desmond Decker there. He is the youngest candidate for this election. You also heard me engage Green earlier on. He is 26-year-old. They are the two young ones in this particular race. Originally, it was supposed to be 16 candidates that were supposed to be contesting for the election. We had Mr. E.T. Mensah, who we are informing listeners and viewers this morning that he has withdrawn his nomination. In fact, in a letter to the commission, he has cited personal reasons for which he has decided to withdraw his nomination. Apart from that, we also have Nene Kano Atiapa III. He is a traditional ruler, and he has also been tipped as one of the key persons to emerge victorious at the close of polls. Another key candidate again is Nikote Jani. He's an economist. He's also in the race. A very formidable candidate per my engagement with the various delegates. What we need to understand is that 16 assemblies make up the Greater Accra region, and again, out of the 16, each assembly is supposed to bring 2 candidates, making 32 candidates that will be taking part in this election that will be taking place between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. So as I speak to you now, inside the auditorium is the briefing exercise that is ongoing. Afterwards, the candidates will be given an opportunity to speak briefly to the members of the Electoral College, after which the election proper will begin. So we can just move in a bit so that you could have a sense of what actually is going on inside. You can see the briefing exercise that will be taking place. And if I can run you by the other candidates as well, apart from the 3 I've already mentioned, we also have Stephen Odonko, we also have Homeku Gilbert, we also have Lawrence Nubono, Nene Oku, Tobroni Kwesi Ajimane, and among others. So it's the briefing exercise that is currently ongoing inside the hall. You can see it right now. So that is ongoing now. And this is exactly where the election itself will be taking place, where electorates will be expected to vote here. So this is the situation here, Beatrice, at the Ghana West Municipal Assembly. And you understand that as it stands now, the candidates are being given an opportunity to address the Electoral College the very final time. And obviously, you expect them to put their message across and get them to buy into their message. So we are stationed there. We are monitoring proceedings to see how everything will pan out throughout the day.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Joseph Opoku Joseph Akable reporting live there for us in the Greater Accra region. We can go to the Upper West region, where my colleague Rafik Salam is also monitoring events there. And Rafik joins us on the telephone line. Hello, Rafik. Where exactly are you? What's happening?
I am right at the Upper West Regional Directorate of the Electoral Commission, where the election is scheduled to take place. 22 delegates from 11 district municipalities in the Upper West region are going to take part in this process. And I can tell you that 3 people are running for this particular position. The man who is seen to be the front runner, Ace Guru, which is Babeni Kanton, who is the paramount chief of the Municipal area, and then he will be pitching his firm against Bankona, who is a communication and marketing expert, and then he's a 54-year-old man. And then the last person on the list is a 54-year-old accountant. So these are the three people.
Hello, Rafiq Salam. Your line is going bad. If you could reposition yourself so we can have a clearer voice.
I am saying that 22 people defeat of 3 contestants right here in the Upper West region. We are currently at the Upper West Directorate of the Electoral Commission where the election will take place. Guru Richard Babeni Kanton, who is seen as the front runner of this election, relationship with President Nana Akufo-Addo and also the government, and is the one here, and is the paramount chief of the Southern Traditional area, and also the president of the Upper West Regional House. And then he is going to pitch himself against Bankona, who is a 54-year-old communication expert and marketing expert. And so we'll have the 10% of an accountant, for your accountant who will be part of this election. And so everything is about set, and then we are waiting for them to cast the ballot.
Hello, Rafiq. If you can tell us, when is voting starting?
Voting will start from now because all the contestants are already in, and also I'm not really sure about the delegates, but looking at the sea of people around here, I think that I'm told that the delegates are also around 32 in all from 11 municipal districts in the Upper West region.
All right, thank you very much, Rafiq Salam. He's our correspondent in the Upper West region, giving us an update on the Council of State elections currently ongoing across the regions of the country. You're still watching News Desk on Joy News. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly with more stories.